So thanks very much for coming. It's great to see so many people here at the session. My name is Claire Bailey and I'm an account manager at Lumesse. If you don't know who we are or need help learning how to say our name, please do come and see our stand afterwards. We're really excited to have Nationwide here with us today, and they're going to share a bit of insight into their recruitment journey, and we're really, really proud that we've been a part of that. So I want to hand over to Claire and Chantel, and I hope you find it as interesting as we have, where we've been partnering with them to put together this presentation. So over to you guys.
Hi everyone, so I'm Claire Whiteford and I head up the Workforce Supply Management team at Nationwide Building Society.
And I'm Chantel Conley and I'm the Continuous Improvement Manager working for Claire.
So what we're going to talk to you about today, so we're going to talk to you a bit about Nationwide and what our strategy is. We're going to talk to you about our resourcing strategy and how technology's helped us to enable it. We're then going to talk to you about what's next for us and give you lots of time at the end for questions. This topic is obviously one that's really true to Chantel and I, and something that we're both really passionate about. As you will all be very aware, technology is now so integral to society. People expect it as part of everything that they do. They want 24/7 access. They expect technology in every process that they go through. So technology is absolutely no different, and it's something that we focused on start to end. So who are we? So we're the world's largest mutual. We employ about 19,000 people and 6,500 contingent workers. We've got 700 branches across the UK and key site locations in the fantastic places of Swindon and Northampton, as well as some sites in Sheffield, Wakefield and up in Dunfermline. Under the leadership of our new CEO, Jo Garner, our heritage is something that we care really strongly about, and we continue to do as we have always done, which is building society nationwide. So what is our strategy? So our strategy is based on 5 key cornerstones. So if we take them one at a time, pride is something that's so important to Nationwide, and if you visit any of the Nationwide locations, it's something you'll hear people talk about and you'll see plastered over all the walls. It's about who we are, it's about how we treat each other, how we treat our members. If we take the next one, national treasure, so one of our key aims is to be a national treasure for British society, so we've been around a really long time. It's something that we want to continue to be. As part of this, we make sure that we're focusing on the issues that matter and helping society solve those. So we invest really heavily in things like corporate social responsibility. Legendary service, so we've got 15 million members and we're really renowned for the positive experience that we give those members, so people stay with Nationwide for a really long time. Our service that we give our members is absolutely enabled by technology, but it's made meaningful by our people. Next is thriving membership. So it's obviously at the heart of mutuality. We haven't got any shareholders, so everything we do is for the benefit of our members. It's why we exist, and we thrive as an organisation when our members thrive. And finally, built to last. So this is about being financially safe and secure, having resilient operations in place, and how we earn the right to look after our members' money. As I say, our society is absolutely renowned for great experience for our members, and such a proportion of our membership base will be Nationwide employees or future candidates, and they'll have friends and family that could also work at Nationwide or could in the future. So we believe that our candidate experience should be no different to our member experience, and why it's something that we focus on so heavily. So why do we think it's important to have a resourcing strategy? Well, we get around about 100,000 applications a year. Now, 90% of those people will get a no thank you. And to us, it's really important that it's not a no, but it could be a not right now, not for this role, but something that we consider for the future. Therefore, the experience that we give those candidates that we're saying no to at this point is just as important to us as the experience that we give our candidates that are successful in roles at Nationwide. As such, we do quarterly candidate satisfaction surveys, which gives us our Net Promoter Score. It's currently 42, and that's something that we're really proud of, but as with our culture of continuous improvement, something that we want to continue to work on and focus on. As you may expect, the area in which it's a negative is those unsuccessful candidates, so that's currently a minus 32. As I say, it's something that we're still focusing on. We want to improve that. That experience is just as important to us. Obviously, when our candidates give us feedback on the experience they've had with us, they're considering all elements of that journey. So that could be our careers site, our ATS, how we write our job adverts, the tests that we put them through, and they could go through a number of different technology elements before they even speak to someone from Nationwide. And that's why for us it's so important that we've got really strong partnerships with our providers, such as Lumesse. So what is our resourcing strategy? So for us, having a clear strategy is something that's been so important as we transform our resourcing function. It's something we've invested in really heavily over the last couple of years, and the function is almost unrecognisable from what it used to be. In terms of the key elements, as I mentioned, strong relationships is really important. So for us, it's about having strategic partnership relationships with the business, being commercial, not just being order takers because the hiring manager wants someone to fill the vacancy. And it's having those strong relationships with the third parties that we work with. For us, it's about holistic workforce. So we no longer just focus on permanent recruitment within our recruitment team. So we've got a whole team of people dedicated to focusing on our contingent workforce. It's about having effective performance management. So it's great being able to tell people you're doing a fantastic job, but have you got the right data? Have you got the right reporting in place to make sure that you can demonstrate that? For us, we've invested really heavily in workforce planning. So do we know 12, 24 months in advance who the business are looking to recruit, what those skill sets are going to need to be to enable us to be proactive and start going out and sourcing those candidates, not waiting for a reactive vacancy to come in. This is something we've invested in really heavily since January this year, and we've brought in a dedicated demand planning manager to help us do that. And last but not least, and obviously the topic of our presentation today, modern and effective systems and solutions. So working in partnership with suppliers like Lumesse, we need to optimise the technology that we have available to us to benefit that candidate experience as much as possible. So I'm going to hand over to Chantel.
Thank you. So you've heard a little bit about the strategy with Nationwide and also about our resourcing strategy. And what we want to show you today by way of a video is how technology has supported that resourcing strategy and helped it to evolve by working in partnership with people like Lumesse and our other providers. I'm sure some of you will hopefully be able to relate to this video and our journey as well. Just find the play button.
At Nationwide, we have a long history of doing the right thing the right way. And as a resourcing team, we're no different. Whilst we've always tried to embrace the speed and fluidity of the digital age in our recruiting efforts through new technologies and ways of working, our objective has always been the same as the society we serve: to make sure the systems and processes we use have our members in mind and are built to last. So, as we look to the future, the speed of change has never been faster. But before we step into the unknown, we wanted to take a moment to show you where it all started and how far we've come. Here's our story. It's hard to believe there was a time when using technology was optional, but in 1997, that's exactly how things were. Most work was still paper-based, and if you wanted to use a PC to recruit at Nationwide, then you'd have had to be prepared to share. But recruiting in general was very different then. Advertising costs were high, work was labour-intensive, and you were more likely to be crushed by a stack of CVs than receive an email application. It wasn't until 2000 that we had our first applicant tracking system. More a call centre technology than an ATS we recognise today, it enabled our team of 6 to answer inbound calls from the many newspaper adverts we published. By 2001, automation was brewing. Using a system called Gallup, we'd started filtering applicants using touch-tone telephone interviews. Candidates would answer a series of questions by pressing 1 for yes or 2 for no. Then each morning the system would send a fax. Remember those? With the candidate's score indicating a pass or fail. Then in 2005, we introduced screening questions. Okay, they weren't automated, but the vision to streamline the quality of candidates was the same. Ask the right questions, filter the most suitable candidates, and only interview the best. Next, we introduced requisitions, and with them, our first stab at outlining the end-to-end talent acquisition process. With limited functionality, users could raise requisitions and hire new starters. Granted, we printed all these requisitions and stored them in some rather impressive lever arch files. We also had no vacancy management either, but it was a start. 2007 saw the beginning of the true digital transformation at Nationwide. with the introduction of our first online application system. Applications became electronic, and the recruitment team was renamed the resourcing team, as they began to focus on proactively sourcing candidates rather than relying on newspaper adverts and agencies. What followed in the recruiting tech market in the following years was an explosion of innovative technologies across all stages of the acquisition process, including online testing, which we introduced in 2009 through SHL Online, putting an end to the days of desk-based exams for our candidates. Now zip forward a few years. It's the summer of 2012 and the height of Olympic fever. Mobots and medals are in the air. Here at Nationwide, we were going for gold in our own way through the implementation of our first next-generation ATS, Talent Link by Lumesse, a solution that laid the foundations for the resourcing function of today. Along with it came our first fully responsive career site and a flurry of other recruitment technologies that helped drive our new direct sourcing adventure. So here we stand today, a recruitment team of 70 who are as much marketers, researchers, and experienced designers as recruiters. A team that has gone from 1.2 million of advertising spend in 2012 to 7,000 in the last financial year. But we are not stopping. 2017 has seen us continue to improve our recruitment processes for our stakeholders. But the question is, what next? There are so many avenues to explore. Well, if there is anything we've learned from our journey so far, it's that the recruitment utopia is out there. However, it can't be found by implementing every technology going or solely a beautiful career site. For us, it's about understanding your journey, finding great partners, taking pride in your work, and crafting the right balance for our customers and our candidates. A process that is digital with a human touch.
Can anyone relate to that story? Yeah, quite similar. So we talk quite a lot in our industry about achieving recruitment utopia, but for me personally, I think that every industry or every organisation should have a different utopia. So what you need to do, as far as I'm concerned, is understand your journey. Everyone's utopia will be completely different. So what are you personally trying to achieve? Where are you good and where are you less good? And what do you want your candidates to see, feel, think and do? Then it's all about finding great partners, making sure that you find organisations that you can trust to learn about your business and apply their expertise, because you can't be experts at everything. And finally, for me, and probably the most important thing, is the focus on customer experience. And for any of you that have seen the quote by Steve Jobs, you've got to start with the customer experience and work back towards the technology. And I think we have personally, as an organisation, been guilty of thinking about the technology first and thinking about all these shiny, bright new systems and features that are coming out there and trying to get every single one of them, but actually they don't necessarily suit our candidate base. So think about your candidates and think about, what am I doing to make this better for all of our different customer types, so not just candidates but also your team and your business as well, and hopefully through that way that you'll achieve your own recruitment utopia. Thank you.